Welcome everyone. Greetings wherever you are hearing from, wherever you're watching from. It's Ebuka again, and I'll be doing a quick selection video of my FPL team for the 2026-2027 season. Now coming to my big team. So I've actually selected my team, and I'll just be explaining my thought process just in case. So my aim is to keep this thing brief and just document my journey here so far. So I have gone with this team for now, but there will be likely changes. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, this is my team for now. So I will use the transfer window so you can see options and why I've picked what I've picked. Yeah. So at the goalkeeper level, I always believe in a big six keeper, and then an extra keeper, from a low playing team, just to have as backup, just in case your first keeper does not stand in. And in this case, I'm going with Laments of Man United, the keeper of Man United. And for now, there are two reasons I'm going for him. Now, if you look at the top six, let me put a filter here on the goalkeepers. If you look at the top six, he seems to be the one that is quite affordable and has better fixtures at the start. So compared to Raya, yeah, I believe Raya is a good pick. You should have one of those Arsenal defense, and the keeper is a good entry point, but for me I feel it's just too expensive. Yeah, I would rather devote that extra 1 million to my midfield or attack. That's my own thought process though. So it's 6 million, and his fixtures are quite difficult. Just have a look at it. Starting with Coventry, Villa, Chelsea, Sunderland, Brighton. These are not easy fixtures. Even looking at the fixture difficulty rating, it's not looking too nice. Then we have which other top six? We have Sanchez. Sanchez is nice too, but I don't like his starting fixtures. But Sanchez was my main keeper last year, and he's quite stable. So starting fixtures I don't really like. Now let's look at Lamens that I've went with. So Lamens has quite a moderate and easier starting fixture. Starting with Hull City, newly promoted side Ipswich, Everton, which sometimes are not too stable with their form. You have Man City, quite new. They're a good side, but we don't know what to expect under Maresca. And then Fulham, decent fixture. Should be targeting maybe 2/5 clean sheets on average, and 5 million, nice stats, good to go. And what other big six do we have here? Alisson Becker. Liverpool have quite tougher fixtures, I guess. Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Ipswich, Fulham. I don't know why Fulham is rated too, but I feel they should be more than that. And that Liverpool backline has not been keeping a lot of clean sheets, especially with late last season compared to Man U, with the bringing in of Carrick and the likes. So yeah, let me just move into defense. So that's what has informed my decision to go with Laments. Now with Mosquera, like I said, if you've been playing FPL, you know that Arsenal is best defense, and you need an entry to that defense. So yeah, Mosquera is a nude. So ideally would have gone for Gabriel or Saliba, but I think Gabriel is just a little too expensive. Now let me filter the defenders since I'm done with goalkeepers. Now taking a look at defenders, you can see Gabriel is at 8 million. Sincerely, I think he's overpriced at 8 million. We all know that, he he's really good, but 8 million I feel is a little too much. And then Junior Timber, Saliba. Saliba had a knock, an injury from the World Cup. Julian Timber, these guys are rotational risk. Even Mosquera is kind of rotational, so I don't know how the starting will be, but for now, I'm happy to go with this. So then Virgil. Now you know Virgil is almost an equivalent to Gabriel and is 6.5. Has that area traits, clean sheet potential, attacking traits too. You know, so it doesn't justify why Gabriel is at 8 million. So yeah, it's a sure win. And then Maguire, Maguire of Man U. I've explained that with regards to Lamens. And then, just throwing in Pong and then this 4 million defender from Sutherland, keeping my back, my defense, like I said, standard top 6 for now, just keeping it flexible, not risking it too much because this is the start of a new season and as much as FPL is back to data, we don't have much data. So I'll just go with what I know and open flexibility. Now in my midfield, I have gone again with what I know and keeping it a little option. So I've gone with, so now just to emphasize, my starting level will be Lamens, Mosquera, Virgil and Maguire, with Achepong and Kipri being on the bench. And then my midfield will be, I plan to play a midfield, a former midfield, either 4-4-2. Yeah, 4-4-2. Lamens, Mosquera, Achepong, Virgil, Maguire, and then Saka, Soboslai, Bruno, and Saka. Now I've gone for Saka. Why? Because Saka is pretty. Yeah, if you are looking at his price point, sometimes it may kind of not justify the price point, but like I said, I'm just going with stability and flexibility based on past data of what I know. I'm not really using precision as a yardstick to guide my decision making and picking my team. I'm also going with Soboslai, target man, plays a lot of set piece, penalty, clean sheet potential, attacking threats. Yeah, Defcon too. Let's not forget that. And Bruno doesn't need explanation. Bruno is that good. In short, you should have Bruno in your team. And then I've gone with a differential here to start, huge. And I've gone with Saka. Why I've gone with Saka is because I feel, so that I have quite a good starting fixture. Just look at the full profile. They have Ipswich, Fulham, Brentford. I think this is okay. And the plan is maybe they play these first 3 games and we can rotate our team a bit also. So that's why I've gone with Saka. Now Hughes is just because of the price points. That's why I majorly picked this guy. I don't have much data on him, but I like the price points. Now if you look how I'm selecting my team, I'm selecting along price points just so in case I need to transfer is not a bit of a hassle for me, you get. And now Haaland up front needs no explanation, and Broby. So the reason why I've gone with Broby is because of this started opening fixtures. I feel I will still make some modifications to my midfield or attack, but for now I just want to keep it very flexible. Yeah. And then I've gone with this player I really don't know, but just to fill my team. So that's with it. So just so you know, if you notice, I have 1 million in the bank, and my intention is that whatever team I'm going with, I will not make a transfer in game week 1, so that I have 2 transfers going into game week 2. By then I should have more data and better decision making when I'm doing transfers in game week 1 and 2. That will be 2 transfers, doing a transfer into game week 3. So that's just my own viewpoint. Now you will see a lot of drafts with Calvert Lewin and João Pedro up front, and yeah, it's a really nice one. For now, I don't just feel I should load my team with a lot of attackers. For now, attackers that are especially not nailed on. If you look at last season, you'll notice that attackers were not really returning compared to midfielders. So I'll focus more on midfielders than attackers. Midfielders and DEFCON players than attackers. So that's just why I've gone with a front two. Now look at my starting team. I've gone with this as my starting team. Standard top six. Going with what I know, not risking it a lot, and keeping flexibility. And then these two up front, Broby has been very good. And then Hughes starting from the midfield. So this is just my team and my thought ideas. Yeah, let me know what you think of this, and I would love to see your team. Thank you for now, and till next video. Bye.